like that. Woo!
What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Pull Up Show. My name is BJ Matthews, aka B Jizzle. Before we get started, follow us on the YouTube page, the Pull Up Basketball Podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like, share, subscribe, all of our YouTube videos. You know what I'm saying? Hit that notification bell on our YouTube page to get all of our updated content. You know what I'm saying? When we post a video, let's get it popping. All right, before we get started, make sure you guys, if we have not, go ahead and check out our Cash App. If you want to donate to the podcast, we definitely appreciate it. People that's donating to the podcast, supporting the podcast, we definitely appreciate all your support and loyalty to this podcast to give y'all quality, great content from the hottest podcast team with me and my boy Rick Masters in the game. You know what I'm saying? So definitely appreciate y'all doing what y'all do, man. It does not go unnoticed. But let's get to business. I'm trying so bad not to laugh, man, but this is a subject that we gotta talk about. Again, hit that like button to get the notifications out. Another deal was been done today. Another deal in the NBA. We had a good start to free agency yesterday with Kyrie Irving opting in with the Brooklyn Nets for $36.5 million. And as well as John Wall signed to the LA Clippers. Once his buyouts with the Rockets, he'll be done. He'll be signed with the LA Clippers. So those are two, good starts to the NBA free agency. Now we have another, I wouldn't say big deal, but definitely as far as you're talking about money and the player we're talking about, it is somewhat of a, big deal because the LA Lakers point guard Russell Westbrook has also decided to opt in his $47 million. Oh my gosh, that $47 million contract with the LA Lakers. You understand what I'm saying? So congrats to Russell Westbrook for securing the money, the bag, you know what I mean? Family, generational wealth, that's all good. Blessings, all that good stuff. But y'all just look at the numbers, what he's going to bring in. $47 million for the season. That's $573,000 per game, $143,000 per quarter, $11,000 per minute, $199 per second. My goodness. This amount of contracts these players are making, man, is insane, bro. Honestly, like, what would you do with that type of money, man? It's unbelievable. It's obviously a blessing that he can do that. So Westbrook decided to stay with the Lakers going into next season, right? So we're gonna go through my thoughts of the situation, what I think with Russell Westbrook being with them, as well as are the Lakers ever going to get rid of Russell Westbrook, bro? Because it feels like, just by what I'm going to go through these two things, I'm going to let y'all in later. I feel like the Lakers are really trying to play catch up. They don't know what the hell to do with Russell Westbrook. It's almost as if it's a bad rash that will not go away. And you know what I mean? Because it goes to show you that one decision can, cause you a lifetime. You know what I'm saying? That used to be told to me, one bad decision can cost you a lifetime of pain. All right, so let's get into it. Now, if we talk about, again, what's happened in history where it's all started with, last season, Russell Westbrook got traded from the Washington Wizards to the LA Lakers for these three players: Kyle Kuzma, Montrezl Harrell, and Contavious Caldwell-Pope, they call KCP. Now, it's funny. Many Laker fans at the beginning of the situation were very actually ecstatic that they were getting Russell Westbrook. You know what I'm saying? The LA Laker fan base, I'm being out here, you heard a lot of buzz saying the Lakers got the big three. They got a super team. They're going to be great. They were coming off the, first round exit to the Phoenix Suns. So they felt like just pulling the trigger and get another, big time, big name player was going to solve all their problems. Like, this is the Lakers, man. That's how they deal with stars. That's how they deal with their problems. They bring in stars. That's all they know. They don't really go off of, just trying to build with pieces. They usually just build with just bringing a bunch of stars here and, let the balls, roll the balls out and let's play. That's what they go to. So, all respect to the Lakers. But, I mean, this science experiment was a little bit different because now, not only did you bring in Russell Westbrook, you brought a guy who really just didn't fit with the team. Right, he was not a good fit for the team, for the Lakers. And not just that, the Lakers went overboard and crazy with who they chose to bring in. They didn't just bring in Russell Westbrook, but they thought it was a good idea to bring guys like Carmelo Anthony, Dwight Howard, Rajon Rondo at one point was on the roster, Trevor Ariza, a lot of guys who were big time name players about you could say about uh 4 or 5 years ago, if you're going by name, like Carmelo, Dwight Howard, Rajon Rondo, those guys would be, Hall of Famers. You know what I'm saying? When it's all said and done, there's no doubt about it. But this is why I tell people that just because you could say a Hall of Fame, quote unquote, don't mean you in a good situation. That's based off your entire career. That's not based off the moment right now. Those players are not Hall of Fame players anymore. Carmelo's 37, going on 38, I believe. Dwight Howard's 35. Rajon Rondo is 35, I believe. And then of course your two best players, one guy who's up there already at 37, and the other guy who can't seem to stay on the court and play, which is Anthony Davis. You got a very, very sensitive roster at this point. But then you put all these big name guys on the team, but they don't really have the ability to carry the load for an 82 game season. But you had a lot of people saying that the Lakers were, basically going to be a title contender, a heavy favorite. You had ESPN, you had all these other, top sports shows ranking the Lakers being them in the finals. You know what I'm saying? Just based off of their name. Okay. Now, as far as Westbrook's concerned, his start with the Lakers was pretty bad. Now, people were very optimistic. You know what I'm saying? My man Salute, Soccer Updates. What's good, brother? Keep hitting that like button. Um, Westbrook, what went wrong? Basically, Westbrook, when he got to the team, he was really a guy who they were going based off of what the name of Russell Westbrook is. You understand what I'm saying? Like it it's a thing about so you have to if you have a player that plays on a certain team, you got to make sure that he actually fits with the team and the culture and what they're trying to do. Because the word around the campfire was Russell Westbrook was just going to come in there and just be the old Russell Westbrook of old on OKC and even so some on Houston and Washington, because all three of those destinations, Westbrook individually put up very, very good numbers. With OKC, he had some very great moments with that OKC team. They went to the conference finals multiple times. You talk about, him with Houston with James Harden, how he averaged, I think, 27 points a game that season, did his regular triple double, act. And then he went to Washington. I think he led that team into the playoffs when Bradley Beal got hurt. So Russell Westbrook individually is a great player. But this is a little different when you're talking about now. He's going to go onto a team as a third option. You understand what I'm saying? Now he's going to be behind LeBron James and Anthony Davis. So now you have to find a way to make Russell Westbrook successful. From the start, everybody can see Russell Westbrook was having a hard time, missing layups, airballing shots, hitting shots off the backboard, turning the ball over all over the place. He obviously was, trying to find himself. And you have people being optimistic, saying that the Lakers, they were going to turn around, give Westbrook, 15 games. Then it went from 15 games to 25 games, went from 25 games to 30 games. Then it went from 30 games to the All-Star break. And the more and more time went, the more and more people started to open their eyes. Now, you still have those people who are still, in denial, saying that Westbrook, he was going to get it together at the end of the season. And I kept telling people that this is just a bad fit. This does not work. This is not something that you want to have on your team. Westbrook's not a bad player, but when you got a guy in LeBron James who's better, bigger, and better than him, it's almost as if, what do you do with Westbrook? How do you handle a guy who slashes to the basket, who uses his energy, who's an up and down player, who's an individual great talent, but he's the third option on this team? You understand what I'm saying? It's one thing for you to be on the Lakers and look like this, but if you put him on a team like, say, I don't know, the Clippers, I guarantee you Westbrook would not be looking this bad. You understand what I'm saying? And I almost felt kind of bad for Westbrook because of what, the certain things that he had to, deal with by not just, the Laker fan base, but also just, NBA fan base, period. And I think that ignorantly, that these sports shows that played all these blooper reels on Westbrook, you being like undisputed, being so bad, is what will turn a lot of teams off. So now karma is kind of cut off with them because the Lakers are in a situation right now where they're stuck and they don't know what to do. Okay, the man just had a 47-year deal for this season. You're stuck with him for another year. Okay, but if I look at Westbrook's statistics, and we're gonna pull up these statistics right now. Um, just what he's been doing this season. Let's see how bad Westbrook's really been playing. Okay, continue to hit that like button, y'all. You know what I'm saying? These are Westbrook's numbers throughout his entire career. Okay, now statistically, if you look at the top in 2021, which was last year, Westbrook played 78 games. He only missed 4 games. He played 34 minutes a game. He averaged 18 and a half points, shot 44% from the field, 7 rebounds and 7 assists. Those are the main stats. Now, if you compare those to, his other seasons, he's averaging around the same amount of assists as he did in Houston and rebounds. He didn't average the same amount of points, but he shot a higher a percentage field from the field in more of the seasons than not, just on last year. He's not going to average as many points because he's a third option on the team. Now, if you was just to look at those statistics by, what you see on the screen on the top line, you would say that's pretty good. But it was the turnovers and it was the blooper reels and it was all this stuff that the media continuously tried to do is what turned a lot of these teams off to not even try to even sign Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook, my point is he wasn't playing as bad as being portrayed. Did he have bad moments with the Lakers? Yes. Did he airball shots? Yes. Did he turn the ball over? Yes. Okay, I'm not denying none of that. But the Lakers have way more problems than just Russell Westbrook. They don't have no real good they lack on defense. They got a guy in Anthony Davis who can't stay on the court healthy. LeBron James was carrying the load offensively a lot of the time last season. He had, I think, one of his best offensive seasons in his career. You know what I mean? They didn't feel like they were really gelling with Frank Vogel as their coach. That's why they was let go. And it was just a lot of issues that was going on with the Lakers. Okay, but let me get back to Westbrook. What are they going to do with Westbrook? What is going to be the situation with Westbrook? What are they going to do? Because you're dealing with an expensive contract. Again, I tell y'all, this is not just about basketball. This is about money as well. The man's making $47 million a year, or he's making $47 million a year on his contract. So you have to think, if the Lakers want to do anything, they're going to have to, swallow their pride and actually have to probably, either pay Westbrook or do something they ain't got to want to do. Beggars can't be choosers. I'm about to explain myself right now because the Lakers had chances to get off of Westbrook where they wouldn't be dealing with this problem. Let's take last season before the trade deadline. Okay, y'all can see right there that Lakers declined trading Westbrook to the Rockets for John Wall, 2027 first round pick. Now, John Wall was just dealt over to the Clippers for literally a bag of peanuts. John Wall is going to help that Clipper team. I'm telling you, once John Wall gets on the Clippers and the type of team they have over there, where they got multiple shooters and scorers that John Wall can actually pass the ball to, trust me, John Wall is going to have fun playing with that Clipper team. But now you, the Lakers, you looking at it like, man, we ain't got Kyrie coming. John Wall just went to the Clippers. Bradley Beal is probably most likely going to sign that Supermax unless you guys are trying to make that trade happen. You know what I'm saying? You might got Malcolm Brogdon, but you're running out of options. This could have been a way for you to get out the problem that you're in. If you got traded for John Wall and your first round pick, you probably could have either moved Wall or at least you never know. It could have been a different story with Wall there instead of Westbrook. Maybe he's a better fit than Westbrook for LeBron. Okay, but Jeannie Buss didn't want to give up her first round pick, and that's why they declined the trade. But now you look at you now, you still in a tight spot, and you trying to still trade Russell Westbrook off the team. And the fact is nobody wants him. Here's another one. They tried to trade him for Kyrie Irving. Now, of course, the Nets declined that trade. because they looking at it like, man, we don't want Westbrook over here. We want AD. We want Anthony Davis. Don't try to, what I'm saying, joist us. But my thing is, I actually would not mind this trade because if you look at these two duos, when they were both together, they all had pretty much good success. When LeBron and Kyrie, obviously, they went to four straight finals. From 2015 to 2017. Okay, that's actually three. I'm sorry, three straight finals. You know what I'm saying? Where they were one of the biggest 1-2 punches in the NBA at the time. Of course, LeBron was younger, so he can do more. He wouldn't be the same LeBron James, but still, what I'm saying is LeBron and Kyrie had a successful tandem. Now, Westbrook and Durant were just as successful, making it to the playoffs every year, making it to multiple conference finals. They knocked out the San Antonio Spurs twice in the playoffs. They tapped the Golden State Warriors down 3-1, the 7-3-9 team, which they should have won and went to the finals and won it all. But they choked down that finals they choked it down to the Golden State Warriors. But my point is that Westbrook and Durant has had success in the past. So really it would not have been a bad deal to do it. But the problem is, again, the Russell Westbrook, the tape has been out, the film is out, that he's looked so bad by the Lakers that nobody wants to touch him. And that's a fault on the media because they're trying so hard to make LeBron James think like, poor LeBron, he don't got no help and all this stuff. In reality, the Lakers don't have a system. And that's why everybody that seems to go there seems to be having some trouble. Look at Andre Drummond, how he came. He was a double guy, and then he goes there. He don't even get on the court. Montrezl Harrell was a 6th man of the year with the Clippers. He goes to the Lakers. He don't even get playing time. Russell Westbrook, y'all see how he's looking with this team. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I can just go on and on. But when they leave the Lakers and go to, other teams, like guys like Alex Caruso, guys like Kyle Kuzma, guys like Brandon Ingram, guys who've gotten away from them, they seem to, actually flourish. Okay, so again, back to the contract. Westbrook has an expensive contract of $47 million. So now, all you have to you're struggling to get him off your books because again, you can't find the players and the money to match his contract. So now they're trying to trade whoever. They had another trade on the table, trying to trade him to the Pacers, and the Pacers denied that trade. So I mean, at this point, you kind of looking at it like, well, if I'm the Lakers, I'm kind of looking like, man, like we're trying everything and nobody wants to make a deal with us. Yeah, no one makes the deal with you because again, you tried to be a beggar instead of a chooser. You guys really should have got off Westbrook last year. That way, y'all could have had some more things to work with. You know what I mean? So, my man, real Easy, salute, bro. Salute. I'm just, what I'm saying, cooking about the Lakers, man. These dudes, the front office messing up, bro. They're trying to be politically correct, bro. So they messing up a lot. So I'm just trying to, what I'm saying, cooking tonight about this situation. But I'm gonna go ahead and bring my boys, everybody in. You want to, chime in on the situation, man, because this is crazy. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens to the Lakers from here on out. But they really had a chance to really get rid of that dude last year in the season. Now you have to deal with him for this year, and who knows how much longer after that. Y'all go follow my boy really Easy too, man, on his YouTube page. You know what I'm saying? Golden State Warrior faithful, you know what I mean? Talks a lot of good things about the Warriors and also, breaks it down the games. He knows the game very well. So go follow my boy real Easy. Shit, I want to come in, cook. We can do that, man. So, but all in all, man, Westbrook is not the fact that he's a bad player. He's just a bad fit, man. He's a bad fit for the Lakers. They don't really have much outside shooting. They don't like to play D. Hopefully, Darvin Ham and Rasheed Wallace could put some type of accountability to this team where they at least try on defense and at least try to, be there for one another on defense on help side. But I don't know. I don't know because now the West is so they all healthy now. You look at the teams that were not healthy, they're healthy now. So I really would like to hear from a Laker fan, honestly. I would like to hear from somebody who's a Laker fan and be honest about what they feel about the situation. Because you can't feel good about having Westbrook with that huge contract. You can't. I think the Lakers right now, the best thing that for them to do is just build off of bringing in new pieces, bringing some wing depths, bringing some guys who's going to defend, bring some guys who are going to stretch the floor, bring some guys in who are going to be, what I'm saying, team players. Because you're probably not going to get the superstar that you want. Unless the only way I could think of, or the All Stars I could look at is Bradley Beal and Zach LaVine. Okay, those are the only two I could see. Other than that, I mean, who else could you put back in here, man? Who else could y'all put in? You know what I mean? Let's see. Yeah. What y'all think though about the move, man? Y'all think when y'all think Westbrook, y'all think he's ever gonna leave the Lakers? Do y'all feel like what y'all feel about the Lakers right now? Epic Play said I think they got something with Sharif and Scotty Jr. Yeah, from what I think what the Lakers are doing, this is kind of what it ties into, I think, why they didn't give up that pick for Wall. I think they're looking for the future, man. I think they're looking towards more the future. I think they're all out for, trying to get LeBron another ring. I think they just come to grips that's not going to happen. I think they're looking at it like, you know, if they could get the next player to help, maybe. But I just don't think with the Lakers right now, I think they gotta figure out they gotta focus on just getting pieces. But the problem is with the Lakers, they've never been that type of franchise to, go the long haul. They've never been the type to play chess instead of checkers. They looking to get the big home run and bringing all these star players to what I'm saying, bring in any help. What's up, Bruce?
Hey man, what's up? How you doing?
You finally got off that Walmart Wi-Fi?
I'm on Target Wi-Fi now.
Okay. How you doing, brother?
I'm all right. I'm all right. So I saw Kyrie fighting all day, battling with Stephen S. Smith on Twitter, and
That was gonna be my boy. Shout out to my co-partner Rick, the one that does all this, the groundwork for the show. You know what I'm saying? My partner, y'all see him in the screen, bro. Rick, come on, bro. If you want to come in, man, click the link. I don't know if you're busy right now, bro, but if you want to come in, let me know. But go ahead, Bruce. My bad.
yeah. So yeah, I saw Kyrie battling with Stephen S. Smith, and Stephen S. Smith. That's what he wanted. He's been baiting Kyrie. Now he wants to invite him on the show. Yeah, ratings. It's all about those ratings. The same thing with Skip Bayless wants German Green. So Lakers gonna have Westbrook. They're gonna try to trade Westbrook all year, during the off season. So Thursday we're gonna see what's gonna happen. I see that Brunson is gonna get a lot of money. I don't know. Nick's about to overpay him. So the point guard market is dry now. So Lakers are stuck with Westbrook.
Yeah, yeah. What's up? Go ahead, Bubba.
Salute everyone.
Salute.
So you said when will Westbrook leave the Lakers?
I don't think he's gonna leave the Lakers. Now he opted into his contract, which he was supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's leaving that money on the table. And even if he opted out, he wasn't. Nobody wants him. So what he has to do is come into this season stronger, work on his weaknesses, turn those weaknesses into strengths. I mean, at this point of his career, I don't think he can be a very good, reliable 3-point shooter, but I feel like he can work on it and get a little bit decent. And one thing people don't talk about is his free throws as well. At one point in his career, he was shooting like 80% from the free throw line. Last season, he shot like 60-some% from the free throw line. So that's another aspect that he has to work on his game and limit his turnovers. Everybody knows that. And most importantly, play defense because, we all know Russ plays no defense. We kind of give him credit for playing hard every night. But if you're playing hard, you're giving all this effort on the offensive end and you're not giving the same level of effort on the defensive end, you're not playing. You cheating the game as far as I'm concerned because you're not playing the game the right way. So I feel like he should do that. And if you're the Lakers, you should really get rid of him. Try as hard as possible to get rid of him, but nobody wants to take on his contract because that's huge. And if you're the Lakers, you want to win and you want to win a championship. This dude is not. He can't start for a contender. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't play smart basketball. Like if you look at what he did throughout the course of the season last year, a lot of plays, a lot of games that the Lakers could have won, he made terrible plays. You know what I'm saying? Like that one time that they had a chance to tie the game or take the lead or whatever, and he came up and Carmelo was wide open and he shot the ball into the stands, which the fans obviously booed him. So he doesn't make right plays. So if you're the Lakers, you should really try as hard and to get rid of him now. It will be hard to get rid of him because you really degraded his value. You know what I'm saying? When he's about to take a shot in the arena, the fans are yelling, "Don't shoot, don't shoot." So which team will want that? If you don't want it, if you don't want him, you think I would want him? No. So you have to, kind of like not put him out there like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not try to devalue his value because already everybody knows he's not a great 3-point shooter. He's not a great shooter. And if you put him in those situations, you know what I'm saying, it devalues his value way more than it actually is. So that's all I would say for now. So, Rick Masters.
Yes,
What's up?
sir.
What's
My
up,
boy
brother?
Rick in
What's
here.
up?
My boy in here. You know what I'm saying? It was good, dog.
Salute to everybody. Bruce, Bubba, BJ.
Yes,
Man,
sir.
look,
Hey
I
man.
was listening on the big screen, man. So I got on the phone so I could hop in. Man, look. Okay, one thing I touch on what Bubba just said. Let's be very clear. Westbrook and LeBron James is oil and water. Now let's look at history here. LeBron does good with shooters around him. That's
Yep.
point blank. He
Mm.
does good with shooters. Westbrook does good and he plays by himself. He only does good when he's playing by himself. So, Oklahoma Thunder, he was doing his thing when the Wizards kind of let him do his thing. He was doing pretty decent mid-season. But now you're playing with a guy where you need to play his system. So that's already an opposing vibe right there. So we got to keep that in mind because I try to look at things through a player's point of view, through a basketball player's point of view. Westbrook is the kind of guy where he needs his own space. And he does pretty well when he has his own space because if you think about OKC, all the players were playing around him. So therefore, that triple double season, him hitting these big numbers, him looking good, it was no pressure in OKC. It was almost like they were cushioning him. Now you come to Looney Town. This is LA, baby. Man, this is the world where champions. I mean, it's just a Hall of Fame of champions. Then of course you got your opposing side, the Celtics. So these are two historical teams that when you come there, you gotta win. That's why the Celtics, I feel like, get a lot of heat too, because they look like trash in the finals, and they're not used to that. They used to win it. So it's almost like, why even show up, right? So you on the Lakers, and you think you about to do what you did in the OKC, and then you playing with a player in LeBron James where you have to play his system. So you already got two opposing forces against you. And let's not forget that LA crowd is used to seeing Shaq, Kobe, Magic, like, dude, Kareem. Like, these people, they come to see a show. That's why they used to call Magic and them Showtime. Like, dude, when I think, see, when they say don't shoot, this is what I'm kind of thinking from my perspective, Bubba. He sucked that season. Like he wasn't hit. He hitting air balls. He hit the top of the goal. He shooting the ball to the people in the stands. All kind of crazy stuff. So it's like
Mhm.
when you see that as a fan or even as a player like me and BJ, people who love the game, I'm gonna tell you not to shoot as a teammate. I'm be like, bro, what you doing? Like, yo,
Right.
last 10 games, you hitting air balls and shooting at the little kid in the crowd. Like, no, bro, pass the ball. And so
Right.
when you come from a an environment where they allow you to just play and do your thing, I think there was less tension. There's less on your mind when you're comfortable. But when you go to Looney Town, man, you got to come ready, man. And then Kobe look, Kobe left a essence there. Like he literally left the essence where when you come there, you have to play. You have to like and I'm not gonna shade Westbrook because Westbrook he does play hard, but you could tell he plays nervous now. He plays very nervous,
Mhm.
and I mean all the analysts, all the media people called it out. They was like, man, I think they in his head. I think for the first time in a superstar's life, it's really getting to him, and it is because like I said, you got the crowd, you got your own home crowd saying don't shoot. Like, bruh, I don't care who you are. If you if your crowd, not the opposing team, they supposed to do that. If your own home team is doing that, that's gonna mess with you mentally. And then he tries to put on this tough guy bravado during interviews after post games, like it doesn't bother him. Like, oh man, I love my family. Man, I love my son too. Anybody's trying to hear that? Quit breaking these shots. We
Mhm.
paying you millions of dollars. Man, look, here's my thing with Westbrook. They not gonna get rid of him, so fast because, like Bubba kind of pointed out, they put too much money in him. They invested too much in him. I think LeBron, his ego is a little too big because you got to think. Now let's look at LeBron's past. When he played with other superstars, they had either the GM like Pat Riley or the coaches on those teams. When he played with superstars, they had to tell those other superstars, "Look, we got LeBron. Let's try to run his system. Let's try to, it's almost like when the first year with the Heat, D Wade was still D Wade. D Wade was doing his thing, and look how they played. LeBron just doesn't play well when other people want to do their own thing. But then when D Wade backtracked and played on his system, they start getting more productive. And so Westbrook, I hear what LeBron is saying in them press conferences, like, oh, Westbrook will come around. We just got to get used to him. Because LeBron's ego is, look, I won here. I can win. I won in Miami. I won in Cleveland. So that will build your confidence like anybody would. But if LeBron takes a step back and really analyze his past, you got to think he never plays well when a superstar does their own thing. If you don't run a LeBron
Mhm.
James system, ain't nothing getting done. It's just
Right.
point blank. And on top of that, Westbrook, like like I said, he's not a bad player, but he's definitely he's out of place. Like that's just not comfortable for
Mhm.
him. Like he has to either go to a smaller market where they don't care, or LeBron literally has to take a back seat, which we know that's not happening because LeBron is, he's the king of the show. And that's how it's gonna be till he leaves the league. That's how they market him. So, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. The only way I can see Westbrook even being some type of asset or some type of help to the Lakers is that he really has to either play LeBron's, system, or he's really gonna have to, kind of do what Carmelo did and just kind of find his little spots out there, like, preferably layups and like dunks, because for some reason, man, the crowd and the media, everything is getting in his head. You can tell the brother ain't focused. And he just, I mean, look, man, this the NBA. This ain't college or high school. Like they paying you millions to perform and entertain us. So, he could try to, cover himself up with the whole, I'm a father and I'm a family man, which is great. As a father to a father, Westbrook, that's great. But this is basketball. I don't care about your fatherhood. I don't care about you being a great husband. And matter of fact, if we looking at them stats, LeBron got you beat by a million. So let's just focus on the game. Let's
Yeah.
play ball, get your head in the game, and let's go because we paying you too much money and people want to be entertained, man. But best of luck to them. That's what I got to say on that.
I mean, so a lot of good takes from y'all, man. But it's a lot of things that you said. I think one thing I want to talk first with my boy Rick said. He said with LeBron, he does it better, has better numbers. That's why I'm saying. And he said like that he's never played with a guy who does their own thing. He never had turned out well. You know what I'm saying? Because like Westbrook again, they play the same way. It's just LeBron's a bigger, better version of it. So now, if you put Westbrook with LeBron in that Lakers squad, who don't have outside shooting much, nonetheless, they don't play great defense. Offensively, they're flawed. Then Westbrook, yeah, he's going to look a certain way. But like if you put him in his own habitat, if you put him on a team where it's just his team, or put him on a team where you got guys who can actually shoot and spread the floor for when he drops the ball, you'll see, I think, a better, more efficient Westbrook. Because if I look at his numbers again, this is his numbers his whole entire career. Now, if you look at the top right there, Westbrook really he averaging 18 points per game, 44% field goal percent shooting, 7.4 rebounds, 7.1 assists. If that was for a regular player like an all-star, bro, those are all-star numbers. But since it's Westbrook and we expect more from him, it's like, oh, he's had a down year. He's not playing well. Aside from the bloopers, him, missing layups and turning the ball over. It's like, man, this nigga trash. But he actually, if you look at it again, like his numbers, man, really those are all-star numbers. I mean, I just think again, I think with Westbrook, man, especially with this, the Lakers have put themselves in a bad spot. They tried to, buy more than they can chew by, trading, all their, depth, traded Kyle Kuzma and KCP, Montrezl Harrell, Alex Caruso. Just a lot of moves just for one guy that they weren't sure of. You know what I mean? I said to myself, damn, y'all picking up all these old dudes on the team, like, the Carmelo Anthonys, the Dwight Howards, and the Rajon Rondos, Kent Bazemore. These dudes are old, man. This was like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, it'd be different, but these ain't the same caliber of players, man. You're not gonna have the same success you would have, back in 2015, 16, 17. It's just not gonna happen. But let me ask y'all this question. What do the Lakers need to do to fix this problem? I'll go with you, Bruce. Let me start with you.
What the Lakers need to do? Pray. I don't think any teams are gonna go after Westbrook. Maybe the Hornets because Jordan MJ likes Westbrook a lot. So I heard rumors that the Hornets might be after Westbrook, but I think MJ liked Terry Rozier a lot too. So I don't know. I don't see any team getting Westbrook for that money. The money you're showing, nobody's gonna want to pay him that. So the Lakers are gonna be after the LeBron scoring championship. That's what they're gonna do next year. LeBron scoring championship.
Hey, shout out to my man Aaron. That's my agent right there, man. Shout out to my man. He said pray with the laughing emojis, and that's what it is, man. Like as I said, like Westbrook's like a bad rash that you just can't scratch. They've tried so many moves to move this dude, and they can't reach the itch. What about you, Bubba?
I feel like the Lakers need to get rid of a lot of the old players. They got, excuse me, they waived Trevor Ariza, which I feel was good. They need to bring in a younger guy that can hustle. A lot of old players on that team they need to get rid of. And I would even say they should get rid of LeBron if they can, because he's not willing to commit to you long term. You don't want to lose him for free. Absolutely not. So if you have the chance to trade him, and some team will take him. I heard Denver will want to try him and Nikola Jokic for one season, because after this season, Nikola's going to be a free agent. So if you can trade LeBron and get good piece from him, yeah, you can go ahead. Even Anthony Davis too, go ahead and do it, because AD has shown you that he can't be healthy now. He might prove me wrong. Maybe this upcoming season he's going to
Nah,
be.
you ain't wrong. You ain't wrong.
Maybe this upcoming season he's going to play like 70+ games. You know what I'm saying? Have an impact on the Lakers because last season he had no impact whatsoever. And some people are saying because he came into the season out of shape, he was injured, this, that, and the third. So okay, this year he didn't make the playoffs. He has 4 to 5 month rest. So let's see how he looks. And just bring in fresh players. And if you can bring Russell Westbrook off the bench because last year the player from Miami, the young player, I forgot what his name is, Kendrick Nunn.
Nunn.
Right, he didn't play at all last season, which I heard reports that he was going to start in place of Westbrook because of how Westbrook was playing. So if he looks good, you can start him and bring Russell Westbrook off the bench. But the question is, will Russ agree to come off the bench? Because we all know his ego and his pride. To me, I feel like he has more pride than Kyrie Irving. If you start Kendrick Nunn, I feel like that would be a better option in terms of trying to win a championship because Russell Westbrook has shown you numerous times that he can't be a championship. He can't start on the championship team because of his bad plays, bad turnovers, worse decision makings on the court. You know what I'm saying? Bad shot selection sometimes, hitting the backboard and stuff like that. So that's what I feel like they should do.
My boy Rick, go ahead, Rick, and then we're gonna go to Aaron.
Yo, man, this is what the Lakers need to do. Because, when you ask that question, I try to put myself in a coaching position in a place like just all sides. Okay, you got what you got. The cards you got, they're dealt. Cool. So we already understand people who. So the first thing I thought about was, okay, LeBron will run with you, Westbrook will run with you, and we already know that Monk will run with you. But the problem is, do you have a running team? No, you don't. Okay, so that system's off the list. Off the
Right.
list. All right. Now let's look at the LeBron system. Do we have a bunch of shooters? No, you don't. Okay. That system's off the list. So what I'm left with, and it's not like you said, BJ, you already kind of called this out. It's not like these guys are 5 years younger. These people are not where they used to be. They're not at their most highest potential like they used to be in their primes. So it goes back to fundamental basketball. This is how I would run it. If I was the coach, if I was the team, let's go look at 2014 LeBron. Let's go look at when you played against the San Antonio Spurs and they spanked the dust off your butt. They tore y'all to pieces. And those are a bunch of old guys that did that to you. Let's not forget. So what can we learn from them old guys? Pass the ball. I call it the hot potato system. Since we not a running team, since we not a shooting team, the ball moves faster than any man can run. So let's zip the ball around. Westbrook, if you got to open it, take the slash. LeBron, if you got to open it, or you get like a mixed match and you bigger than a player on you, take it to the rack, get an easy layup, get a free throw. Work on your free throws, LeBron. He doing better. If you got an open shot, take the mid-range shot. Make the game easy because you guys are not in your prime. Start playing fundamental ball. And I feel like at that level, those guys been in the league for so long that you can at least do that. You can at least take a page from the 2014 Spurs when they tore up the Miami Heat, which is arguably when they were pretty much in their prime, even playing the prime LeBron. So my thing is, if you can't move faster than the ball no more, if the whole team can't run like the Golden State Warriors, then maybe we need to take it back to grade school, set up a half-court offense, zip that ball around, get the opposing team tired, and take open shots. Play defense, so conserve your energy when you're running your offense. Play tight defense. Man up, heart type of defense. And then just play simple basketball, man. Zip that ball around so something is open. Do some high screens, some low screens. Do some off-ball movements. Do simple stuff that we do at the rec, but just do it at a superior level. That's what I would do.
All right. Oh man, Aaron's in the chat. You know what I'm saying? What you got, man? What you think about this whole Westbrook? Do you think they're gonna ever get rid of him, or what you think about this whole thing?
I don't think they're gonna be able to get who's gonna take Westbrook. I haven't been following now. Now, if they get Kyrie, if the Nets won't Westbrook, then that would be great. But Bruce just laid it out. I mean, he laid it out excellently. I mean, the tempo is not right for Russell Westbrook, and then you can't you don't have the kick it out with like the Rockets with people waiting behind the arc. So I mean, I hate to say it, but BJ Westbrook is my man. So even
Yeah,
though I
yeah, I know
know
you love
I
Westbrook.
know even though
I
I
would
know
I would have
he
said that I would have said that back in about 17. That's my dog, but now it's like this dude, and he
well,
done fell off a
of
little.
course. I mean, obviously, as time goes on, he gets exposed more and more. I mean, that's just, and he's not the athleticism can't cover the lack of other things going on. But I think when he was down here in Houston with James Harden, he proved that he could play in a system where somebody else was dribbling the ball 19,000 times. So I think that if they had a proper coach, AD, Westbrook, and LeBron could figure out how to make it work. Because you got to remember when they went to the championship, KD and Harden.
Westbrook. Yeah,
They didn't have they had a lot of bad games, and that Westbrook was doing. Was it well, no, was it when the Golden State? Well, anyways, when they went, it might have been when they played Gold. I can't remember which series that was, but I think with proper coaching that you could find a way to make AD, LeBron, and Westbrook work together. I mean, you could figure that out. But like Bruce said, I mean, he laid it out perfectly. But AD, I love AD, but AD he should have established himself more like Tim Duncan. I mean, I personally I was hoping that AD had stayed on the Pelicans and had a chance to play with Zion. That's what I was hoping when Zion came to the league. But the Rich Paul situation, made that impossible. But Kyrie would be great, I think, over there on the Lakers if they could get him. But I don't think if he played the games, But
yeah,
I don't know. The Lakers. I just think when LeBron blew up the team and got rid of all them young dudes, y'all see how Brandon Ingram just balling in the night. I
yeah.
mean, and and
That's
and you know,
that's kind of the thing too. Like with LeBron, man. Like again, like all these guys who are leaving, you know what I'm saying, are playing better. Look at guys like you said, Bi. Look at Lonzo. You know what I'm saying? Julius Randle,
yeah, right, yeah,
become an all-star player. Like he was an MVP candidate in New York. You know what I mean? Like all these dudes when they leave, they seem to play and raise their games up higher. I'm not saying LeBron is a problem. I'm just saying he's still a top 5 player of all time to me. But I'm just saying like his style of play does not work with a lot of other players. And when they come to him, they seem to have bad seasons. Look at Westbrook. Westbrook's career was tarnished last year off that one season, bro.
yeah. It really was.
So this guy literally did things that had never been done with the triple double. I mean, for you to average that 3-4 years, in a row, anybody else, you historically you're great. But I mean, with Westbrook, because they had to blame somebody. Then now you have a guy who he's not that good. Nobody wants him. But that's crazy. This is a former MVP.
Well, you're right. But did only AD played only what 42 games though?
Yeah, I think something like 41, 42 games.
And I think the whole season would have looked different if he had been able to play the whole damn thing.
I
Just
mean, I don't know. Street clothes, man. I don't know about him. He gonna have to show me because he when he said that dumb stuff when he ain't shot a ball since April, man. I'm like, man, you should be in the gym you should be in the gym more than anybody, man. What y'all got? What else y'all got? Anything else about this, man? What y'all else y'all got about it?
Man, this is what I gotta say about it. Okay, AD Pelicans, he was a beast. Westbrook, OKC, he was a beast. Both players come play with LeBron, trash. So
Trash.
here's my theory. It doesn't make me right, but here's my theory. So I don't know what happens when players come around LeBron. And my thing is, like I said, just going off of evidence for what I've seen over the years, all of us here have watched LeBron through his whole career. One thing that is obvious, like a sore thumb, is that if you're a superstar somewhere else and you come and play with LeBron, it's always an issue. Because again, LeBron needs shooters. You need to run his system. Like, and then here's another thing that people may not touch on. There is a lot of pressure playing with LeBron because everybody knows if you're not doing good, it's gonna be your fault, not LeBron's. Point blank. So it's like, okay, I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. If I do well, like say if Westbrook hits 25 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, it's like, well, LeBron, he ran such a good game this game, and then Westbrook, took effect off, like had a side effect of that because of LeBron's play. But then if they lose, Westbrook, what did you do? Westbrook, what were you doing?
Yep.
And it's so what I'm saying is you're gonna get hit by the LeBron media when you play with him. And then think about
Right.
think about Kyrie when he was
Yep.
in Cleveland. Like, bro, it goes deeper than just him not getting the Finals MVP on that crispy shot when he had Curry out there looking like a lamb, like a newborn horse with them ankles.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like Kyrie was thinking like, wait a minute. Like, bro, where my shine at? LeBron gonna take it. He gonna suffocate you. KD said this. He referenced this. He was like, yo, it's toxic playing with him. And what all KD meant was him and KD are friends. But all he meant was wherever LeBron goes is gonna be the LeBron show. It's gonna be
Right.
it's like no matter, you could be a great person, a bad, it don't matter where you come from. If you play with LeBron, it's gonna be your fault. And if you win, it's gonna be LeBron's fault. That's just how it goes. So you gotta take that as well when you go play with him. And then, like I said, bringing back up the Heat. Like I said, the first year with the Heat, him and Wade had to figure things out. And it had to take Pat Riley to come down and say, yo, Wade, look, you know, I know you the star of Miami. I know this is your city. I know this is your court. But hey, man, we gotta let LeBron run the system within our system, of course, but we gotta let him do his thing, man, in order for us to get something out of this team. And that's what they did because a lot of people sleep on Chris Bosh. Chris Bosh was what? A
Right.
superstar in
Yeah.
Toronto. So
Yeah.
you have to. So what I'm getting. I'm trying to get people to see. Superstars either have to take the back seat or they just trash. Like it's either or. You can't be doing your thing like you did over in Toronto, like you did your thing over in KC. You see what I'm saying? Like you did your thing over there in New Orleans. You can't do that with LeBron. You either play his system or you take a back seat. And the thing is, a lot of these guys that come and play with him, they not used to taking the back seat. They used to be in the main faces. They used to be in the main people. And see, I'm gonna bring up now, BJ. You gonna remember this? Me, you, and what was that short guy's name we was playing ball with at Lifetime? He was real little. He was
But his name is Blake. Yeah, I know. I remember you talking
Blake.
about.
It was me, you. We were like the oddest team. At that time I was 230 pounds with a beer gut, and then you was out there doing your thing in shape, pro hooper. And then we had Blake. Dude was like 2 feet tall. I love you, Blake. Dude was real. Dude was real short. And what do we do to that 6'4", that 6'5", and that 6'1"
Right.
guy?
Destroyed him.
We destroyed them. You know why we destroyed them? Not because we could jump higher, because these dudes were dunking, windmilling, everything. Not because we could shoot better, because they had a nice form. Not because anything that we couldn't do as basketball players that they could do. I might add that they probably had a better advantage because they were younger and faster than us. No, we played off of each other. I knew that BJ can shoot the ball. He's a crispy mid-range shooter. I know that little dude was zippy. He could move around the court. I knew my fat ass could set a post and block everybody. So I played within the system. I played within a team system, and I literally it just exploited all weaknesses on their side, and then I pretty much inflamed all strengths on our side. So like BJ said, it is a chess game. It's a mental game. You got to play to your strengths. And so all we did to those dudes that really should have blown us out each game, all we did is pretty much execute and kill their weaknesses. We pretty much cut their water off. And then with our strengths, we just maximized it. And we were destroying them. Dude, we was out there looking like the damn Monstars, even though we shouldn't have been winning. And that's
Yeah.
what LeBron and them have to come to. They have to realize that we're not in our primes. We're not young. The whole team are not shooters. We can't run up and down the floor with this 5-man core. We don't have a bench. So guess what? We have to go back to the fundamentals, including you, LeBron. And here's the thing about, like I said, it goes to an ego thing. When you spend almost 20 years in a league where everything is pretty much whatever you say, I know it probably can be hard to really play just, regular 5-man basketball. But that's what they're going to have to do in order to even have a chance. Because let's not forget, even though they're not looking good, you still have AD. Even though they're still not looking good, you still got Westbrook. Even though you still got to play within his system, in his mind, you still got LeBron. These players have shown through the years when they didn't play together that they can bring some fire to your ass. But they just don't mix well. They have to find the chemistry. They have to, like me, BJ, and Blake did that day. They have to look at each other's strengths and play off of it. That's why I kept bringing up about 5 minutes ago. They have to go look at that 2014 game when they played against the Spurs, because those dudes were way over their prime. Tim Duncan was barely moving. He was going half speed. Tony Parker is not even as fast as he used to be. His shot was better, though. Ginobili old as hell. His first step wasn't even quick no more. But somehow they blew the heat out. I think they made like a historical record by 15 plus points or more in each game,
Right.
and made
Yeah.
them boys look silly. So my thing is, learn from that. It's like Tony, if everybody watches basketball like me and BJ do, and the rest of you guys do, y'all remember them Spurs when they were younger. Tony Parker was the fastest dude in the league. Ginobili was out here looking like the what's his Argentina Kobe. And then you had Tim Duncan being Tim Duncan when they're in their primes. So you got to think, these are some old dudes. And these old dudes had these young dudes in their prime looking like they was like fifth graders out there playing basketball. So
Right.
my thing is, it doesn't matter that you're not in your prime no more, because they proved that you don't got to be in your prime. It doesn't matter that you lost your first step. It doesn't matter that you're not even the fastest team no more. It just basically comes down to fundamental ball, and they all need to get on one accord, work off of each other's strength. And if they don't do that, we're gonna have an embarrassing year again. It's gonna be funny. It's gonna be more don't shoot the ball. It's gonna be AD, you got a weak body, eat some more spinach. It's gonna be LeBron, come on, man. Yeah, you got 34 points, but I want to see other people get 34 points. It's gonna be more of that. So, man, that's how I'm gonna end that one, man. They need to go back to fundamental ball, and I know they know how to play it because they're on the highest level of basketball, and they need to get it together because people paying league passes, and we tired of seeing trash.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
I would. I was. What you think, Bruce?
Uh, last year, I think LeBron was a stats batter. I don't think he was playing for the team. I don't think he really welcomed Westbrook on the team. He was a stats batter. He said, okay, the end is near. Let me get my stats, and maybe when I become the number one scorer, they say I'm the GOAT. So
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What you think, Bubba?
With Bruce, what you saying that LeBron should be in the post and stop playing like Steph Curry. I remember this game. They was playing against the Chicago Bulls, and down the stretch of the fourth quarter, they had like 2 possessions straight. LeBron was in the post and he scored 2 times on Alex Caruso, and they had to run the same play again because DeMar DeRozan had hit a big shot and put them up by, I think, 1 point. And LeBron got set in the post. Instead of Westbrook throwing him the ball for LeBron to go to work, he drove to the basket, tried to lay it up over Vucevic, and he ended up blowing up the layup, which the Bulls won the game anyway. So I feel like LeBron was on the 3-point line because Westbrook was trying to do his thing as well. I don't know if you remember that game. If you have a chance, just watch that game. Go watch that play. And the crowd was really booing Russell Westbrook. And I have a question though. You posted a question that says, "Do players play bad with LeBron?" Something like that. But I have a counter question. Why is it that LeBron plays better and those other players play bad?
That's easy because you have to. I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get this question real quick before I answer you. So Johnny said last season was Westbrook's worst efficiency season, even worse than his rookie season. But just a year prior, he single-handedly led Washington to playoffs. How can a guy forget playing in a year? This is what I'm saying. This proves the point. Westbrook, that shows he's not a bad player. That shows he's still an all-star player because he can still carry a team to the playoffs. That means you're an all-star player. Again, if you look at his statistics throughout his entire year, he literally averaged around the same points, the same stats he always averages. You understand what I'm saying? He's still averaging all-star numbers: 18 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. Yes, he's shooting 44% from the field, but look at the other seasons he shot: 42.5, 42.8, 43.7, 43.8. He was still averaging, high numbers. So he still had an all-star season. The thing about it, I'm gonna go with you, Bubba. The reason why LeBron is never going to have to sacrifice his game is because he's the best player on the team. That's why he's going to always look good. He's always going to get the high scoring games. He's going to average, 25 to 30 points a game, probably like around 7, 8 rebounds, probably like around 6 assists. He's going to get his numbers because he's the best player on the team. But with that being said, he needs to also understand, okay, if you know you're the best player, you should try to find ways to make your teammates better. Don't try to hog up all the shine and try to, get yours and jack up shots. There needs to be a system where Malik Monk, Austin Reeves, Russell Westbrook, Stanley Johnson, Carmelo Anthony, these guys can actually be comfortable. Because LeBron, as great as he is, he can get his. So LeBron's not going to have to sacrifice his game. LeBron can only play one way, and that's with him with the ball in his hands. He doesn't like to play off the ball. He doesn't like to play. He can play in the post because he's 6'9", but he prefers to have the ball in his hands and bring it up at all times. So that's why I say he's never going to have to sacrifice his game. Tim Duncan, like Johnny said, like Tim Duncan did in his later years, Tim Duncan was willing to sacrifice his game. He would let, Tony Parker, he would share the wealth with Kawhi Leonard. He would share the wealth with Manu Ginobili. He would share the wealth with Danny Green. He would share the wealth with Patty Mills. He would share the wealth with other players on the team. That's part of being a great leader. You know what I'm saying? I think LeBron is a little bit too egotistic with his game. Go ahead. Go ahead, Bubba.
But if you take Tim Duncan, I mean, Tim Duncan's best strength is not really scoring. I mean, yeah, he would get his bank shots, a couple of times, but his main strength wasn't really scoring. So if you like try to compare him to LeBron, he wouldn't have to really sacrifice because that's not really his game. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have to push the ball up like LeBron. You know what I'm saying? He's a solid big man.
Well, so what I'm saying is LeBron's great enough where he doesn't have to average 20, 25. He doesn't have to average 25, 28 points a game. He don't have to shoot, more shots than everybody. He doesn't have to do that. Just with him getting other guys open shots and letting other guys, eat and stop. Let's leave them in the corners, waiting for the ball. Get some actual ball moving with that offense. That will make the performance of his other players better. But like I said, like with LeBron, if you look at the examples we talked about with Lonzo Ball, with Brandon Ingram, with Julius Randle, with Jordan Clarkson, with all these guys who's played with LeBron, they get better when they leave him. They somehow get 6th man of the year. They get MVP recognition. They get, Brandon Ingram. We finally seen a different player in him. You see. Lonzo Ball looks comfortable in Chicago and New Orleans. When he was in LA, people were talking about should he even be in the league.
Right.
I mean, it's just example after example after example.
Well, you do know they learn from being around LeBron, though, even though they might not get to use the knowledge that they picked up. So that's also kind of a hidden factor, because if you're around that guy, you're gonna learn his work. You're gonna some of his habits, some of his just overall swagger. I mean, look at Caruso. Shit, the same thing. He even tries to. His mannerisms kind of look like LeBron's right now. I mean,
that's true.
Yeah.
So you do learn from being around. There's these hidden lessons that they learn from LeBron that it will mature you as a player being around that dude. I mean, you got to think LeBron is more than 10 years older than all those other dudes.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's very true. That's a good point. I actually have to give him credit for that. I'm just more particularly to the playing style. I'm not saying like trying to follow. I'm just saying like his playing style makes it difficult for the guys to be the best version of themselves.
Yes, that's true though.
Right.
That's definitely true. Definitely true.
All right.
So,
But could it be that these players are not as great as could it be these players are not as great as we think they are? Because when they're playing, when they're the man on their own teams, like, there's no expectations for them. Like, I mean, as great as Anthony Davis was in New Orleans, he never had playoff success. He only made the playoffs twice. You know what I'm saying? He got to the playoffs, and his first time he got swept. And the second time he made it to the second round, which, that was it for him. Could it be like the moment really gets to them? Because you're playing with LeBron, that's the face of the NBA, you know what I'm saying? So there's some level of expectations for you to perform or to get to the championship, maybe.
But
I mean, with AD, like I said, AD, I'm not talking about AD because he played well with and without LeBron. So I'm not referring to him. I'm referring to the people who they were just regular players when they were with LeBron. But then they go to their other teams and they're the man or their starters and they excel to new heights. They look better, without him. And the whole thing I've always had a question about LeBron is they say he makes everybody better. I think, yeah, you could say that more in his younger years where he was just physically dominant over everybody else and they were able to win games. But I have to kind of question that. Does he really make all his teammates better? Because really, his teammates have had to sacrifice for him. Like, they had to sacrifice for him. Like, Russell Westbrook, in my opinion, has to sacrifice his game to make LeBron look good. Dwayne Wade had to sacrifice his game to make LeBron look good.
Right.
Kevin Love had to sacrifice his game to make LeBron. You know what I'm saying? Chris Bosh had to sacrifice his game. Like, his teammates have done a lot to sacrifice their game to make LeBron look good.
Shit, that's true.
That's true. But to be fair to LeBron, I mean, he made AD look better in 2020 when he, excuse me, when he was running the point and ultimately led the league in assists.
Yeah, AD, like I said, AD's fine. AD, I ain't referring to AD. LeBron, like, yeah, he needed LeBron. That's true. AD needed LeBron to win. Without LeBron James, he was not doing anything in New Orleans.
AD needed the bubble too. So
yeah.
Wait, what'd you say?
AD needed the bubble too, man.
He said he needed the bubble. Like, here, okay. So it kind of goes
wheelchair.
You need something. You need some spinach. But what I was gonna touch on now, Bubba said, do we think the players is not as good as we thought? No, they're very good. You got to keep things in perspective. This is the NBA. These dudes, even if they look like they trash, these are the best players in the world playing in one league. So it's just that, keep in mind, I think people don't actually realize how big and powerful LeBron is. Like, okay, let me give you a mental picture here. What if Michael Jordan had the body and the shape of LeBron? I mean, dude was already scary at his frame, but just imagine him having that frame at 6'9" and can run like a god. Like you can't do nothing with LeBron, and because of his husk, this dude is built like a Greek god. So even in his older years, like, I be watching play, like last year when he was playing, like, he'd be manhandling grown ass men. I'd be like, bruh, like, and you can't do nothing about it. He's damn near Shaq's little cousin. Like, you can't do nothing about it. So when it comes to when they say, man, it's like he scores a lot. Well, ain't really much you can do when you got a pro football tight end playing basketball. You can't really do nothing about that. And then also keep in mind, not just his athletic ability, not just his stature, his IQ. Because even though LeBron, he needs people to play his system, the dude has a very good IQ. I would never take that from LeBron. But then it's also to touch on this. Let's look at some of the all-time greats in the past. Let's look at one of the GOATs that I consider the GOAT of all time. Let's look at Jordan. Jordan wasn't really winning nothing until that certain team got there. He was killing in the playoffs by himself, but again, by himself. So when he finally got a team and Phil Jackson came around and kind of schooled him a little bit, like, yo, use your other players, then all of a sudden it was an unstoppable team. But let's remember, by himself, yeah, he looked good. He was the man. But the thing about it is he didn't have LeBron's, like, his stature. That's why LeBron could be 22 years old and take you all the way to the finals against the Spurs. I mean, yeah, I already knew he was going to get swept. But if you think about his actual size, his strength, how fast he was, this dude is a freak of nature. And I think people tend to forget that. Like, if you look at LeBron, man, and just watch how he play, it's like, dude, when he's running full speed, I'm not getting in front of him. Like, it don't make any sense. And then Kobe even said this on the interview when they asked him about LeBron. They were like, Kobe, what do you find unique about LeBron's game? And Kobe, in a very political, but like a very shady way, he was like, it just kind of intrigues me that this man is that big, but he likes to be on the arc. He goes, people like me and Jordan, like we like to get on the post. We like to feel, we like to battle. He was like, but to be that big, he goes, man, I wish I was that big. He goes, because I'd be down there dominating, right? And that's most people's mindset if you that big, because what do we all say when we were kids? Man, I wish I was 6'9". I wish I was 6'10". I would be bullying people because you already know mentally you're bigger than most people out there. But it's like LeBron is like, yo, he has this type of style where it's like BJ said, I want the ball. I want to play point guard, which he can. But now it's like, look, we kind of need you in this type of team system that we have. We kind of need you to kind of play your position, because you got Monk out there. You got wings. You got Westbrook out there. Like you said, you got Stanley Johnson out there. And then you got Dwight Howard. You got true postmen. You got to play your position. We got to start playing fundamental ball, because the problem with LeBron playing LeBron's system right now is that for one, you don't have shooters. For one, you don't have runners. You don't have the perfect recipe for this storm to actually take over and do what you need to do. So since you don't have the recipe to this meal, we need to go ahead and play fundamental ball. And like I said, LeBron's always going to get his numbers because he's a freak of nature. And then on top of that, you add an IQ as high as his on top of a freak of nature. I mean, my best metaphor for LeBron is like Incredible Hulk with his mind intact. It's like, you ain't stopping the Hulk. I mean, you might win the war, you might contain him, but you ain't stopping the Hulk. You're not stopping him. He gonna do what he want to do. So it's like, we got to figure out a way to keep the Hulk maintained, and then we could take, the rest of these guys, they gonna pretty much follow suit. But it's like, as long as we can maintain this big green guy over here, we should do pretty well. And that's what teams pretty much do. And LeBron makes it easier for teams, because it's like, look, he's not gonna play his true position. And what's bad is when he does, because there's glimpses in games where he actually plays his actual position. Like, he'll go down when they need a point or they need 8 or 6 points. LeBron will get on that block and score every bucket. And I'll be sitting there thinking to myself, like, LeBron, if you did this from the first quarter, y'all probably be up by 20. But he don't do that. And that's what's crazy. And then it's like, okay, Bubba said something about Tim Duncan. So when he was talking, Tim Duncan did get buckets. It's just that Tim Duncan got his buckets throughout the game, throughout the system. And then Tim Duncan, like BJ said, Tim Duncan also made, and BJ kind of noted to this, Tim Duncan also made sure that he got everybody involved. Like, have you ever, I'm sure if y'all watch basketball long enough, if you watch games, you'll see Tim Duncan and Tony Parker's face. You'll see Tim Duncan and Ginobili's face. You'll see Tim Duncan and Bruce Bowen's face. Like, he's literally like, yo, man, get your head in the game. Like, I'm trying to give you the ball. I'm trying to set you this screen. He's trying to get everybody involved, because Tim Duncan knows he can score. I mean, that's why they call him the big fundamental. You don't have 5 chips for no reason. He was literally Greg Popovich on the court. So Tim Duncan, literally, when he had to show out, and I remember a lot of games when he did, dude showed out. And then a lot of people, the reason why you don't remember Tim Duncan that clearly is because he wasn't a bravado. He wasn't a person who wanted all that attention. He played simple, backyard basketball that was very effective. And so if you're a basketball person like me who just loves the sport in all perspectives, I appreciate that. But then you're going to remember people like T-Mac. You're going to remember people like AI. You're going to remember people like Kobe, because they brought excitement. Vince Carter, they brought excitement. Tim Duncan would sit there, set a screen, do a pick and pop, shoot that weird over-the-head shot he does because he's so tall and lanky. And then he'll hit about 20 points on you, but it don't seem like he really did much, because it was just smooth, fundamental, slow-paced basketball. He slowed the game down. He got his team into it. And then it just looked like he wasn't doing much when he was really doing everything. And the only reason why you knew that is because when you looked at his stats, it was like, damn, Duncan actually filled up all that. He got blocks, he got rebounds, he got assists, he got points, he got offensive rebound, and you don't notice it until after the game because he played within the system while he was doing his thing and also keeping everybody else in line. But LeBron is like, I've seen LeBron, but let's think about J.R. Smith when he was at Cleveland. J.R. made that bad play. I think they're in the finals. Like, my thing with that play, I was like, look, a leader, I would never have gotten mad. Like, I would have been mad, but you never show that type of attitude to another player in like probably one of their most embarrassing moments, right? As a leader, you got to keep your head cool so that you can get everybody else's head cool. Just like Tim Duncan, when Tony Parker was 19, he was young. And when Tony Parker did something stupid, he didn't sit there and make him look bad. You'll see they'll put the camera on Tim Duncan, and you'll see Tim Duncan in Tony Parker's ear, or he'll be up close to his head, and he's probably talking shit to him. But at the end of the day, he basically got his head back in the game. Yo, LeBron literally was like throwing his hands up, like, here we like he was just disappointed, like, oh my God. And I'm gonna tell you what that does. When you do stuff like that to your teammates, dude, that not only does that kill morale, but it really just doesn't even want to make you play, especially with that play.
That's
so
what.
Go ahead, BJ.
No, I was gonna piggyback on that, and that's where I draw the line with the whole leadership thing. Like, this is a lot of this stuff is narrative based driven. We're getting to a point where we're almost done. With a lot of this stuff is narrative based driven, where we start attaching titles to LeBron of him being this ultra great leader. I don't know what that even has looked like for LeBron, because I've seen plenty of times where LeBron has quit, LeBron has thrown in the towel, LeBron has pouted, LeBron has but none of this stuff gets talked about in the media. Meanwhile, a guy like Kobe Bryant, who they used to destroy in the media, kill in the media, I think was a better overall leader than LeBron. I'm not saying that because he's my favorite player. I'm saying that because if you look at the stuff that he's done, look at that 2010 year for people that remember how the Lakers beat the Celtics, that what he had to do to pull his troops together to beat an all-star team with 4 Hall of Famers, KG, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, Rajon Rondo. Like that accomplishment, bro, like would overshadow a lot of people in NBA history. So I think a lot of this stuff we gotta, slow down when we say LeBron is just this, that, and the other. We gotta kind of fact check it. But yeah, that's why I wanted to kind of bike off on.
No, and then you bring up a good point. Now, you brought up the Celtics, but the 08 Celtics, or 08 and 010, because they was a tough little team. One thing I liked about them when they were united, this was a perfect picture of how you could get a bunch of superstars together and they all played their true roles. Ray Allen was a true shooting guard, and he could also play parts, small time, small forward when he had to. Rondo, true point guard. You had Paul Pierce, true small forward, and he can also play part-time shooting guard. Then you had KG, he playing true power forward. You had Perkins playing a true center. Like, these superstars knew their roles and they played within their system. So my thing is, if the Lakers were trying to basically get all these superstars, they should have went to go watch the Celtics. They should have went to go watch some 08 Celtics, 010, like some 10 Celtics, because that was a team that had number superstars and they stayed in their true positions. Now, going back to Kobe, like you said, when they beat them in 2010, I don't know if a lot of people remember, Kobe, all he did was play defense and get rebounds. That's all he did. Literally, he understood, okay, I'm not really hitting. I'm not really hitting buckets. Where else can I help on the court? He made sure his man didn't score. He made sure that he kept his team rallied up. He saw that Meta World piece. He saw that what's the tall Spaniard's name? What's the man's name? Paul Gasol was doing his thing. He saw certain players out there doing their thing, and instead of trying to take over, he literally took a step back. Now that literally tells a lot about a person's experience and their mentality. It's like, look, we got to win by all costs. Kobe is known to try to outscore you. He's known for that. But in that mature Kobe moment, being in the league for so long and playing against a team that humiliated him back in 08, it was like, look, all right, in order for us to win, I'm gonna have to, make a couple adjustments. And that's what he did. I ain't never seen Kobe get that many rebounds and play that hard of defense in my life. It's like I got to do something to help my team. And that's what he did. Like you said, BJ, you know what LeBron do when he start losing and his team sucking? He start crying. He punching whiteboards. He putting on his wife's scarf to cover his hand. He talking about he broke his hand. He over here talking. When they ask him about the Warriors for the next, oh man, how do you feel about the finals against the Warriors? Man, I don't want to think about them, right? Like I'm just like, man, look, LeBron has showed too many times in his career that just mentally he's not where some of the other all-time greats are. And that's okay. That's no shot at him. But what I want to end this by saying is the media and even yes, ourselves, the fans, have created this Frankenstein. We created this monster. Before LeBron even touched the NBA court, he's the chosen one. He's gonna come in and change the league. He's gonna do this. So imagine what that does to an 18-year-old boy. Now he has to think he has to come in and just take off when it never happens that way. You coming in with the big dudes, and even though he was a big dude, he was a boy in a big dude's body. That was too much pressure for him. And then and that's not to take away from LeBron. I want to make sure I say this. LeBron is a great top 10 player. I'm not taking it away from him. But I feel like when you put that kind of pressure on a young man, and then you expect him to fulfill all these dreams and obligations that are unrealistic, it's just like, look, this dude, your ego, you're gonna be shifted somewhere in your mind because you feel like you have to be the chosen one. You feel like I gotta be the guy. When in reality, he should have took a step back or had better coaching when he was younger and saying, hey, I know what the media is saying, LeBron. I know what people are saying, the fans are saying, but hey man, we need to win by any means necessary. So what I'm gonna need your big ass to do is get down there, play on that block, or run a wing, run a small forward wing like Scottie Pippen or somebody, and play the true game of basketball. Don't get all this media hype in your head. But to also end it like this, the NBA is a business. And this is what I mean. Jordan left the league. Jordan was pretty much the people called him Black Jesus, whatever you want to call him. He was the GOAT, right? He was the media's like thing. So again, we have to find somebody to take this crown. And they gave it to LeBron. And so LeBron forever, and I mean forever, you put this man on a path to try to catch up to Jordan, to try to do Jordan-like things. And honestly, that wasn't fair to him. It really wasn't. The expectation was just not fair. And like I said, to be an 18-year-old boy, because you're still a boy when you're 18. Yeah, you got a man body, but your mind ain't manly yet. You literally is taking on all this pressure, all this media talk before you even touch an NBA court, and then expect you to rise to the expectation. That's where I always felt bad for LeBron. I don't think that was ever fair for him. And so now we created this monster where you can finally beat a team that was beatable. I don't care what nobody say, that you finally beat the Warriors, and now you want to sit back and say, oh, that made me the best player in the league. Like, imagine where that mindset comes from. That starts when he was 18. That's where that started.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, ain't nobody in their right mind gonna sit back at that point in their career and be like, yo, that makes me the best player in the league. No, bro. If anything, your ass got lucky. You better be glad Draymond Green was out there kicking people in the nuts like a donkey. Because I'm telling you right now, Draymond don't get himself ejected, this will probably be a different conversation. You probably only have 3 rings. So, man, look, and then let's not forget with the Heat, he won that shit by a hair. Because Ray Allen came out with the old school Ray Allen 3-point shot, and he won that by a slip. So really, we might be talking about 2 rings. So it's like at the end of the day, man, I have much love for the brother. LeBron is definitely one of the all-time greats. I want to end it by saying that, but I do feel that we created this monster, man. That's how I'm gonna end it.
Yeah, that's how we're gonna end the live tonight, man. That was a good punchline. Anyone else got anything to say before we shut the live down, man?
Just the marketing was partly Nike's fault.
Yeah.
I'm not a witness.
But in some way, LeBron embraced that chosen one thing because he got it tatted on his chest or somewhere like that.
Think about that.
So
That's on his back.
he was
Yeah.
buying into that pressure himself.
Yeah, that was
But
he had
but
to.
yeah, but he was groomed. That's what I'm saying. The media, the fans think, okay, we really have to think about this. LeBron didn't come out of college. Like, he didn't come out 22, 24 years old. This man came straight out of high school. I'm gonna tell you what I was doing at 18. I was trying to get girls. I was eating ice cream. Like, my diet was trash. I wasn't thinking about much. I ain't go to the army till 19. So 18-year-old across the board on average, we ain't really the wisest people. You know what I'm saying? We know what we
Yeah,
doing, but we not at our best mentally. So when you take an 18-year-old boy and you put all this pressure on him, of course I'm gonna get a tattoo that says chosen one. These people believe in me. I can be a superhero. And I love psychology because when he got to the Miami Heat, he had a breakdown because he realized he turned. Remember when he turned to the dark LeBron? He had the Batman mask on and all that shit. He had all. It's like his whole persona changed. It's because he had a breakdown. It's like, man, what happened to all the love and all the glitz and the glamour? Oh, buddy, this is America. We'll love you one day and piss on you tomorrow. That's just how I go over here. So when he finally felt that and he got past that, I think mentally he got a little bit better. But again, the NBA is a business. We need a star to shine. We need a star to carry this league. And then not only that, LeBron was just they hyped him up so much that they had to ride with him. It wasn't like they put LeBron, Wade, Carmelo, like his draft class, all in the same mix. Like they talked about them all the time. Like it was just LeBron, 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 LeBron. It was never LeBron, then Wade, then Carmelo, and then Chris Paul, and like it was never even across the media field. It was just LeBron, LeBron, LeBron. So when you hear that from 18 to almost 40 years old, yeah, man, I think you're gonna become a little egotistical, just a little bit. They groomed him.
Yeah.
like one of the best lives we've had. You know what I'm saying? He said, Bruce. Uh, this is probably one of the best lives we had, and definitely gonna have to bring it back again. We will be back probably tomorrow. If not tomorrow, definitely Thursday. Some more stuff gonna happen in this free agency. I just had to talk about Westbrook because you know at this point I just think the Lakers are and they stuck and they run out of options. So we'll see what happens, man, the next couple of days. But I appreciate y'all coming on the panel. My shout out to my boy Rick, Aaron, Bruce, and Bubba. Y'all the regulars. So definitely appreciate y'all, man, for real.
Hey
Yeah,
man, it's
appreciate it.
all love.
No
Aaron,
problem.
Bruce, Bubba, man, much love, man. I love y'all, man. We love when y'all come on.
Yeah,
Yes,
we
sir.
like hearing from y'all for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no problem.
Appreciate it.
yes, sir, man. But we'll definitely hit y'all tomorrow, man, or Thursday.
All
Cool.
right.
All right, man. Have a good night.
Go
All right, y'all.
Lakers.
Peace.
Yo, Bruce be killing me with the outers, man. Yo, Bruce said what Bruce said against Will that one day. He said, what did he say? Go what did he say? He was talking about, oh yeah, he said go Larry Bird.
Yeah, go Larry Bird. For real.
Yo, man, Bruce and them outers be killing me, man. He said go Lakers.
Yeah, he don't mean that.
Oh man, I love Bruce, man. Bruce and Will, I'm telling y'all start the show, I'm watching. I'm a fan instantly. Bruce and Will, if y'all still hear me, man, Bruce, I know you up. Start a show, man. I will watch that and support that all day,
For real.
man. Yo, BJ,
Yeah, but
real quick, let me ask you, man. So I
okay.
heard that John Wall is going to the Clips. Is that true?
Yeah, he's officially going to the Clippers, man. Got to clear the waivers off, but he's going to the Clippers.
Man,
That's
what
what's
you
being
think real
reported.
quick about that? What you think the season looking like?
Oh, that's a big pickup because what he's going to bring to the table, the playmaking and the defense, he's going to bring to the Clippers. How about they going to spread the floor? He's going to be able to cook out to the shooters, man. That's a big pickup for the Clippers, man. He's motivating.
Okay, you don't think because I know now, to me, Wall, man, he is a fast player. Like, he's fast paced. Do you think that could be a negative effect on the overall team pacing, or you think he's coachable and he'll slow it down?
Definitely coachable. He ain't like Westbrook. Westbrook will go on a one man fast break by himself. Like Wall can do that, but I see Wall's more under control with his speed. I think he's more under control. If he sees, he ain't got like a fast break advantage, and he'll probably pull it back. So I think Wall will kind of contain his speed. So I
And what do
definitely
you
think. Go
go
ahead.
ahead? Go ahead. You
No,
definitely think what?
I think Wall will be coachable enough and listen to Ty Lue when he says pull it back, pull it back.
Okay, okay. Now my last question is, how do you think is do you think Jackson what's his name, Reggie Jackson, do you think it is better for him to be on the court with a player like Wall, or is he coming off the bench?
I think he needs to. It's either gonna be him or Reggie gonna be starting. Like they got the thing. What they gonna have to figure out is who's gonna start and who's gonna come off the bench. If it was me, I would put Reggie off the bench because I got Kawhi and PG. I got enough scoring in the starters. Let Reggie, because Reggie's not a point guard. He's more of a scorer. So they need Reggie to be able to score the ball. Put him in the second unit so he can get more shots. Because most of those shots can go to Kawhi and PG. About 65 to 70% of shots can go to Kawhi and PG. So to get Reggie going, you got to get him shots. And I think you need to put him in the second unit.
Okay, and I see what you're doing mentally. Basically, it kind of keeps the ship afloat when Wall's sitting down because Reggie Jackson, he has proven and has shown that he could keep the team afloat and actually sometimes take over in some spurts when they need him to. So I see what you're saying with that. I see that.
Exactly, dog. But
But all right, man. Much love, man. Appreciate you having me on, man. You already know I'm gonna come with that fire.
hey, man, appreciate you, everything you do for the show, dog. I'll see
All
you
right,
later this
man.
week, man.
All right.
I love.
Love.
All right, that concludes the Pull Up Basketball podcast. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to, the crew, you know what I'm saying? My man Bruce, my man Rick, my co-host, my agent Aaron Adams, you know what I'm saying? My guy Bubba, who's been my day one. We definitely appreciate all the people that comes in the chat room. Miss Juanetta Thomas, you've been a regular. Yes, I did see that we did not get Norlis Noel, but the Clippers have something up their sleeve as always. They make chess moves. They will go out there and still try to get a center. I'm the least concerned about. I think Wall is a big pickup for them, and I think he will be very, very big for them down the line. Now we'll see what happens from here on out. Um, Again, I'm gonna put the Cash App information into the description box in the comment section after the video, so check out for that. If y'all want to donate to the podcast, again, we added somebody by Mrs. Balone Davis that donated $10 the other day. We definitely appreciate it because we come out here with this content. We definitely come out here and give y'all quality, you know what I'm saying, information. And we put a lot of work and time in so to make y'all, give y'all the best information. So if y'all want to donate to the podcast at any point, I will put that into the comment section, the pinned comments. But with that being said, y'all have a blessed night. Pull up a seat, pull up a chair, pull it out. Peace. I like swim.